Good morning, students. Today let us have discussion on opioid analgesic. In the previous class I had explained you about NSAIDs, that is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, and over there even I had told you we have got two types of analgesics, that is opioid analgesics and non-opioid analgesics. Whereas NSAIDs, it comes under non-opioid analgesics, otherwise called even non-narcotic analgesics. But opioid analgesics are called narcotic analgesics as it causes narcosis. See, what is this narcosis? So which usually causes central nervous system depression and usually causes addiction, they are called narcosis. So this NSAID, these opioids, let us see various drugs which usually comes under opioid analgesics. See, in this picture you are seeing various kinds of flowers where these opioids are available. See, opioids, as I told you, it is a natural drug. See, these natural drug consists, it is usually obtained from a poppy seeds, that is it usually comes under a crude drug which is called opium poppy. So this opium poppy, before converting it into poppy seeds, these are the flowers which are where morphine are available under various species. So when we incise this opium poppy, we are going to get a brownish liquid which then convert or which then turn into a black color crude opium. So this is the resin, of the opium, and these are the seeds obtained from the opioid poppy. So from there we can extract various kinds of opioid analgesics. So coming to the classification of opioids, we have got three different classes, that is natural opioids, which includes morphine, codeine, papaverine and thebaine. So over here you are going to study only the morphine and codeine. And under semi-synthetic class you have got hydromorphone, hydrocodone, oxycodone, oxymorphone, desmorphine, diacetylmorphine, which is commonly called heroin. Heroin is nothing but which usually causes addiction, that is what we will call it as afim. So, and we have got benzyl morphine and ethyl morphine. And fully synthetic drug which usually we synthesize under laboratory, it is fentanyl, pethidine, methadone and tramadol. So we have got receptors for the opioid analgesics to act. That is, we have got important three kinds of receptor where we call it as the kappa receptor, the mu receptor and a delta receptor. Whereas the dynorphins, which usually act on kappa receptor, and endomorphins and beta endorphins, it usually consists of mu receptors, and enkephalins, they usually act on delta receptors, and we have got a nociceptors also, that is we'll call it as nociceptin. So these are the various kinds of opioid receptors you are going to find in the body. And opioid receptors distribution, we can find it in various organ system, that is coming to the central nervous system, in the brain stem, where the endorphins, they can monitor or they can mediate the respiration, cough reflex, then nausea and vomiting, it maintain blood pressure, then pupillary diameter and control of stomach secretions. And on the thalamus, it modulates deep pain, that is poorly localized, and emotionally it is influenced. And coming to the distribution on the spinal cord. So in the spinal cord, it is involved in the reception and integration of incoming sensory information, and it attenuates the painful afferent stimulation so that it can reduce the pain. So all the deep-seated pain, it can be treated with morphine and their analogs. On the hypothalamus, it affects the neuroendocrine secretions so that it can able to manage even some of the endocrine hormones. And on the limbic system, it influences the emotional behavior so that hangover or even some addiction, it may be on the limbic system. It is nothing but the emotional behavior. So on the peripheral nervous system, it can inhibit the release of an excitatory neurons and even pro-inflammatory substances from the nerve endings, which contribute to the anti-inflammatory effect of the opioids. So some of the opioids can be also used as an anti-inflammatory agents. So on the immune system, it always have immune depression, so usually morphine and its analog, it will be avoided as much as possible, since it may depress the immune system. So how does this opioid analgesics act? As I told you, we have got three types of receptors, that is kappa, mu and delta. So they'll be located on the nerve endings. This is what we have got a pre-synaptic nerve ending, whereas this presynaptic nerve ending and a spinal pain transmission neuron, this is a neuron, this is also a nerve ending, that's postsynaptic nerve ending. So usually the morphine, it is going to act over here, and especially on the mu receptors. Even though it acts on kappa and delta, the actions are very less compared to mu receptors. So on the nerve endings, it may decrease the calcium influx and decrease the transmitter release, and on the when it acts on the mu, particularly at the postsynaptic, it increases the potassium conductance, so that it may cause a relief in the pain. So even on the peripheral nervous system, it can cause relief, but even we will have a very less dose compared to NSAIDs. Morphine, if you compare, you will be having a very less dose of morphine and its analogs. So it usually inhibit the pain whenever it acts on a nervous system, especially with the GABA receptors. See, gamma aminobutyric acid, which is distributed widely on the body, the opioid analgesics, especially the morphine, it just bind to the GABA receptor, and there is an interneuron transmission, so that morphine can able to act on wherever the pain receptors we can find, and it just try to inhibit the nociception, so that it can able to act as a narcotic analgesic. So what are the effects of opioid receptors on the various opioid analgesics on various receptors? That is, as I told you, we have got a mu receptor, kappa receptor and a delta receptor. See, morphine, heroin, codeine and fentanyl, they can show some analgesic action on the when they act on the mu receptor, and they may also depress the respiratory system and causes euphoria as well as sedation. So whenever the patient consumes, the individual consumes this morphine and its analog, they usually find to be sleepy. So this action is called a euphoric action, and it may also have a physical dependence, as the person cannot quit this drug as and when he wants, so that he usually depends on the drug, and usually we have to make him to quit the drug by tapering doses, and it decreases the GI motility. So this may be an advantage, that it may be used for treating the constipation. So and pupil constriction, that is meiotic effect, can also be the morphine can show the meiotic effect. And coming to the kappa receptors, so this opioid analgesics, they may show some agonistic action on the kappa receptor, and these may show the analgesia as well as the sedation or dysphoria can show, and even the pupil constriction. The same action what the drug acts on mu receptor will be with the kappa also, but it will be with the limited action. And one more advantage of this kappa receptor is there is no respiratory depression. But on the delta receptor, it causes only the analgesia. So whenever we make the drug to act on the delta receptor, it may not have any other effect than the analgesia. So it may act only as a pain reliever. And what is the action of that is the onset of action as well as the time peak for the duration of action of the morphine. That is, morphine can able to show its onset of action within 20 minutes, and it can remain till 4 hours in the body. And pethidine, one more semisynthetic drug, it can act within 15 minutes. That is, quicker than the morphine. It can show the onset of action and can remain in the body till 2 hours. Fentanyl, which is a synthetic drug, it can show a very quick onset of action and a short duration of action. That is, it can have action within 5 minutes, and it can show duration till 45 minutes. This is a time peak of a natural, semi-synthetic as well as a synthetic morphine, synthetic opioid analgesics. And coming to the actions of morphine, see, morphine, it can show analgesic action, and it raises the pain threshold at the spinal cord level and alters the nociception in the brain. So this nociception itself can relieve the pain in various parts of the body. So it also relieves anxiety as well as fear. Sometimes it as it causes the sedation, so the patient's anxiety may relieve with the sedation and even with the fear. And the euphobic action, which produces a powerful sense of contentment and well-being by stimulation of ventral tegmentum. So because of this, the patient may show some addiction, as he want the drug whenever he needs. So this euphoria, which make the person to be a well-being, so it may also causes some addiction on the patient. And coming to the respiratory system, it causes a strong respiratory depression by reduction of the sensitivity of a respiratory center with the neuron to carbon dioxide, so that the patient may not have a proper breathing, and he may feel some chest tightness as well as breathlessness, and this may lead to respiratory depression, and patient especially with the asthma may have some breathlessness. And a depression of the cough reflex may allow accumulation of a secretion, and thus it may lead to airway obstruction, and there may be an attack like ASIS as the depression of the cough reflex happens. So it may be replaced by other safer antitussive like codeine. And meiotic effect, I had told you, it causes the constriction of pupil. So there may be a pinpoint pupil, which is a characteristic of a morphine. So whenever the patient usually takes morphine, he is unable to identify, or he may have a sight with a glared sight as the pupil constricts and causes meiotic effect. And emesis, which causes vomiting by stimulating the chemoreceptor trigger zone on the medulla, but with no unpleasant sensation. So since it may cause some CTZ stimulation, whenever morphine has been consumed, patient may feel that he may feel vomiting. Coming to sedation, it causes drowsiness and clouding of mentation even with the disturbed sleep. As I told you, since it acts on the central nervous system, it may have some depression, so that the patient, even he may cause some drowsiness, as well as he may have some mental disturbance, that is clouding of mentation. So he is unable to remember the things while morphine was acting. And coming to gastrointestinal effect, it just decreases the motility of a smooth muscle, and it increases the tone, so which causes constipation and increases pressure in the biliary tract. That's what it may be used in treatment of the constipation. It may be used in the treatment of treatment with the whenever the patient have the loose stools, so that it may use for the treatment of constipation. And coming to analgesic effect, it may be used for various pain, especially acute pain, then obstinate constant pain, that is pain with the burn, pain with the cut wounds, as well as with the cancer pain. And it may be fixed interval of administration, which reduces tolerance and dependence. So severe pain like renal pain, biliary colic pain, it may act on a mu receptor blocker, and it may reduces the pain. So all the deep seated pain can be treated with the morphine, especially the pain of burn as well as a cancer pain, which is an intolerable pain, including the fracture pains. So it may be used in treatment of cardiac asthma, where the acute left ventricle heart failure, it induces the pulmonary edema, and due to this there may be like the patient may, those who are suffering from the cardiac asthma, they may be treated with the with the morphine with a limited dose, and it reduces the anxiety, then cardiac preload as well as an afterload, and particularly it may be used for painful myocardial ischemia with the pulmonary edema. And I had told you it may be used for the treatment of the constipation, that is for the diarrhea, which may act as a synthetic surrogate. And it may relieve the cough, where even we have got a very good synthetic antitussive. So and codeine, which may be used, that is diacetyl morphine, which may be used for relieving the cough. It may act as an antitussive, and it is used as pre-medication before giving anesthesia. That is, it may act as a sedative, anxiolytic, and even analgesic properties, which may have show some which can be used as a pre-anesthetic medication to reduce the anxiety of the patient. Even sometime it may continue the analgesic activity, so that the patient may not feel any pain even after the surgery. For a high risk surgery, it may be administered systemically, or for the local, we can go for the epidural anesthesia. And patients those who are suffering from asthma, they should be avoided, as as the morphine can cause a respiratory depression. So what are the other adverse effects of asthma? That is respiratory depression and vomiting, as well as nausea, then constipation, then it may cause a biliary colic pain, and it may cause induce dysphoria and allergy. It may be enhanced, or sometimes it may be post-oral hypotensive effect. Then urinary retention may be there, especially patients with the prostatic hypertrophy, and it may be there may be elevation of intracranial pressure, since it may act on a nervous system. And immune depression, already I had told you that it may causes some immune depression, so the drug should be avoided as much as possible. Then what are the contraindications of the morphine? So it should not be induced during labor, whatever the pain it may be, and even in the lactation, because it may be expressed with the breast milk, and it may infect, or it may affect the newborn infants. So the women, those who are under lactation, should not consume morphine. And it may have a crude effect on a chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, as it depresses the alveoli, or it may depresses the respiratory, it may cause a respiratory depression. And patients with the asthma, already they may have some constriction of the bronchioles, so even they should not consume morphine. And pethidine, coming to pethidine, so which is a very important drug, which is a morphine analog, but it is a synthetic semi-synthetic drug. So it may have similar action as morphine, but it binds to opioid receptor, particularly mu receptor, as morphine also can bind a same mu receptor. But the action I had shown you already, it may act within 15 minutes, that is 5 minutes more than the quicker than the morphine. And the action similar, but it may be less potent than the morphine. Even though it may have a quick onset of action, it remains, duration of action is less, it may remain in the body for a shorter duration. And it has got a transient decrease of gastrointestinal motility and increase of the muscle tone. And indistinctly, it may have a central depression of a cough reflex, so it may be even used as an antitussive. And coming to the therapeutic use, pethidine can be used for various pains like obstetric and labor pain, that is since we should not use morphine, we can go for the pethidine, as it causes very less depression on the respiratory system. So since respiratory depression is less, we can go for a lighter dose of pethidine. And it can be used in treatment of cardiac asthma also, since there is less respiratory depression. And it can be administered before anesthesia, that is pre-anesthetic medication, that is in the artificial hibernation, and combined with the chlorpromazine and promethazine, because it can show some antiemetic action also with the promethazine or chlorpromazine. And coming to the pentazocine, so it is an agonist on kappa receptor, but a weak antagonist on a mu as well as a delta receptor, and it can show a less potent action compared with the morphine, and show analgesia and respiratory depression and indistinct euphoria as well as dependence. And it may cause even dysphoria also, with an hallucination and hypertension with the high dose. So pentazocine can be used only for a particular type of analgesic action, that is it may be used as analgesia only in a certain selected criteria. So it may be used for moderate as well as chronic pain, to relieve moderate as well as chronic pain. And coming to one more important drug called fentanyl, where you can even study fentanyl with the general anesthesia also, as an infusion anesthesia. This fentanyl, which is a neuroleptic analgesic, that comes under the synthetic drug, usually we synthesize it in the laboratory. So it is commonly called droperidol, and it is a 4-acyl anilino derivative, and it is an opioid analgesic with a duration of action with a very less. I had compared with it with the natural as well as synthetic drug also, that is semi-synthetic drug. So it may show action within 5 minutes, and it may remain in the body till 30 to 50 minutes. And it can be used in combination with the diazepam as a diagnostic agent, and endoscopic and angiographic procedures during the surgery. And it is an adjuvant to spinal and a nerve block anesthesia, so it may be used as a pre-anesthetic medication. And also it has got an advantage with a smooth onset and a rapid recovery, so it may there may be a suppression of vomiting and coughing, so that it may be used as an even an antiemetic agent also, so which may be used as a pre-anesthetic medication. So some commanded operations can be performed in presence of fentanyl, that is it may have a less fall in the BP and no sensitization to the adrenaline. Coming to the disadvantages, we can have a respiratory depression, that is same old action, that is side effects as with all the opioid analgesics, and it increases the tone of chest muscle, and there may be a nausea, vomiting and itching during the recovery. And one more drug called alfentanil. So this alfentanil, which is an analog of fentanyl, and it is a potent than the fentanyl with the very short duration of action. Even it can have a quick onset of action, and it is a synthetic opioid analgesic used as an anesthetic agent in a surgery, especially for intubation. So during intubation and extubation, usually obviously we need a agent which is both an anesthetic and an analgesic. So alfentanil may be chosen as a good analgesic as well as an anesthetic agent for during intubation, and around 1/4 to 1/10 times it is potent to that of a fentanyl, and has a quick onset of action, that is 4 times more than the fentanyl. So it may act within 2 minutes, and usually it selects a mu receptor that shows a rapid onset of action, and commonly administered through a parenteral route during the nerve block injections as a pre-anesthetic medication, and require careful monitoring of a vital signs as it causes even the respiratory depression. As I told you, respiratory depression is the most common for all the opioid analgesics, and compared to other drugs, pethidine has got a less respiratory depression. And coming to side effects, it may cause itching, nausea, as well as serious respiratory depression, including life-threatening symptoms. So, students, you have got two more drugs, that is ramifentanil as well as sulfentanyl. So these drugs, they have got a similar action as well as applications as fentanyl as well as alfentanil. So you can go through both the drugs and you can write a similar mechanism of action as you had written for the all the opioid analgesics. So you can go through for both sulfentanyl as well as ramifentanil. So this completes the opioid analgesics.